Om Shanti and a very good morning. Let's take a couple of moments to stabilize ourselves, to listen to what Bab Dada has got to tell us through this Murli dated 16th March 1986. The title of today's Murli is Spiritual Drill. Bab Dada is looking at all the children's sweet silent stage. To see to what extent you have practiced becoming stable in the stage of silence in a second. Are you able to stabilize in this stage when you want, or does it take time? Your eternal form is of sweet silence, whereas your original form is of coming into sound. However, your original and eternal sanskar is of silence. Your eternal form is of sweet silence, whereas your original form is of coming into sound. However, your original and eternal sanskar is of silence. So, whilst knowing your eternal sanskar, your eternal form, and your eternal nature, Babdada is asking, are you able to stabilize in that form when you want? Knowing that your eternal sanskar, your eternal form, and your eternal nature is of silence, are you able to stabilize in that form when you want, or does it take time? You have had 84 births of coming into sound, and your practice has therefore always been of coming into sound. However, because of your eternal form and because it is now the end of the cycle, you have to return to the home of silence. The time to go home is now close. It is now the time to finish all the parts of the beginning, middle, and end. The three aspects of time, and to become stable in your eternal form and your eternal stage. The time to go home is now close. This is why, at this time, this practice is more necessary. Check yourself to see whether you have become a conqueror. Check to see whether you have become a conqueror of your physical organs. When you don't want to come into sound, does the sound of the mouth pull you? This is called spiritual drill. Just as these days they say that the cure for all illnesses is exercise, Similarly, to make the soul powerful at this time, you need to practice this spiritual exercise. No matter what the atmosphere around you may be like, even if there is some disturbance, whilst staying in the midst of sound, you now have to practice over a long period of time being in the stage beyond sound. No matter what the atmosphere around you may be like, even if there is some disturbance, whilst staying in the midst of sound, you now have to practice over a long period of time being in the stage beyond sound. It is not a big thing to create a peaceful stage in a peaceful atmosphere. You now need to practice being peaceful in the midst of peacelessness. It is like swimming against the current. Do you know how to have such practice? Whether it is the disturbance of your weaknesses or the disturbance of waste thoughts because of your sanskars, are you able to make yourself unshakable amidst such a disturbance, or does it take time? Whether it is the disturbance of your weaknesses or the disturbance of waste thoughts because of your sanskars, are you able to make yourself unshakable amidst such a disturbance, or does it take time? When it takes time, it can deceive you at any time. At the time of completion, that is, towards the end, at the end, you are not going to get a lot of time. The paper of the final result will only be a few seconds or a few minutes. However, you will receive a number on the basis of the extent to which you remain unshakable in the midst of an atmosphere of disturbance all around. If you have had the practice over a long time of taking time to become unshakable in an atmosphere of disturbance, then what will be the result at the end? Babdada is asking that if you have had the practice over a long time of what? Of taking time to become unshakable in an atmosphere of disturbance, then what will be the result at the end? What will be your number? Therefore, practice the exercise of spiritual drill. You need to be able to stabilize your mind wherever you want for as long as you want. The final paper is very easy and you have been told in advance what paper you are going to get. But the number will be given in a very short space of time. Let your stage also be powerful. While each of you has everything, that is a body, relations of your body, sanskars of your body, people, possessions, vibrations, and the atmosphere. Let none of them attract you. This is called being a conqueror of attachment and having a powerful form. While each of you has everything, that is, a body, relationships, relations of your body, sanskars of your body. You have people around, possessions, vibrations, and the atmosphere. Let none of them attract you. This is called being a conqueror of attachment and having a powerful form. So, do you have such a practice? People will be crying, whereas you will remain unshakable. No matter how much the elements of nature and Maya come to make their final claim and pull you to themselves, you have to remain absorbed in the love of the Father, whilst being loving and detached. No matter how much the elements of nature and Maya come to pull their final claim, come to make their final claim and pull you to themselves, you have to remain absorbed in the love of the Father whilst being loving and detached. This is called seeing and yet not seeing, hearing and yet not hearing. Let there be such a practice. This is called the stage of being in the sweet silence form. देख के भी नहीं देखना, सुन के भी नहीं सुनना. Seeing and yet not seeing, hearing and not yet not hearing. This practice is called the stage of being in the sweet silence form. Nevertheless, Bapdada is giving you time. If there is anything missing, you can fill in that gap now because you have been told about the account of a long period of time. So you now have a small chance, and you, therefore, have to pay full attention to this practice. Whether you pass with honors or simply pass with pass marks, it all depends on this practice. Do you have such a practice? When the bell of time rings, will you be ready or will you think that you still have to get ready? The rosary of the 8 jewels is small because of this particular practice. It is of a very short time. You people say that everyone has a right to claim the inheritance of liberation or liberation in life in a second. You people say that everyone has a right to claim the inheritance of mukti or jivan mukti in a second. So to receive a number at the time of completion is also a matter of a short time. However, let there not be the slightest disturbance. Simply say a point and become stable in that stage. The point should not fluctuate. It should not be that at that time you begin to practice I am a soul, I am a soul. That will not work because you have already been told that the attack will be from all sides. Everything will have a last trial. However, much power the elements have, however much power Maya has, they will all come to test you. It is their last trial, a test, and also your last, final stage of being karmatit and free from karmic bondage. The scenes on both sides will be very powerful. They will be in full force, and these will be in full force. However, your victory in just a second will cause the drums of victory to beat. Do you understand what the last paper is? You all have and must keep the pure thought of wanting to be number one. So only when you win in everything, everywhere, will you become number one. If you have the slightest wasteful thought in any single situation, or if your time is wasted, your number will go down. A slightest wasteful thought in any single situation, or your time gets wasted, your number will go down. So check everything. Check all around you. Double foreigners want to go fast in everything. Therefore, starting from now, make intense effort and pay full attention to this practice. The Bab is asking, do you understand? You know the question and you also know the time. So, all of you should pass. If you know the question in advance, you are able to prepare yourself and then pass. All of you are those who are going to pass, are you not? Acha, this season, Bab Dada has kept the treasure store open for meeting everyone. Baba will tell you later about what is to happen in the future. You will now, of course, take whatever you have come to take from the open treasure store. The scenes of the drama always keep changing. But this season, whether it is the people of Bharat or the double foreigners, all have received special blessings. Bapdada will fulfill the promise he has made. Eat the fruit of the season, and that fruit is the meeting and blessings. All of you have come to eat the fruit of the season, have you not? Bap Dada is also pleased to see the children, but everything has to be considered in the physical world. At least enjoy yourselves now. Baba will then tell you about it at the end of the season. Although the places where you serve are different, the aim of doing service is the same. The zeal and enthusiasm is the same. And Bap Dada therefore gives all the places special importance. It isn't that one place is more important than another. Whatever place children have gone to, one special result or another will definitely emerge from that place. Whether the result of some is visible quickly and the result of others is according to the time, every place still has a speciality. So many good jewels have emerged. So do not think that you are ordinary. All of you are special. If any of you were not special, you would have not reached the Father. There are specialities, but some use their specialities for service, whereas others are at the moment getting ready to use them for service. However, all of you are special souls. All of you are Maharathis and Mahavirs. If Baba were to praise each one, a long rosary would be prepared. If you look at the Shaktis, each one of the Shaktis is a great soul and visible as a world benefactor soul. You are like that, are you not? Or are you just benefactors of your own places? Acha, Om Shanti. Let's take a few moments to reflect on the learnings Baba has imparted through this Murli and come back with our takeaways. Okay, you may unmute yourself and be ready to share. Shanti man.
I just think about when I'm sitting on a flight already. I hear the voice of the air hostess. Attention, seat belt on. We are about to fly. There is excitement in our hearts, but also the body has to respond to that flight. So we have to put a seat belt on. And that's what Baba is trying to tell us now. But what he's giving us now is a mock drill. He's preparing us for that final moments when there will be no air hostesses, when there will be no more knowledge of the kindergarten lessons which I've learned, I'm a soul and all, when I have to go all beyond that, when I have to just stop, dead silence, just silence, where even yesterday's Murli Baba spoke about victory in pride of silence, dead silence, detachment. What and this spiritual drill we have seen Baba emphasizing in every Murli at the end. He has already given us so many mock drills, and we have also done, whether it's a bodiless seat stage. He gave us even regular in the form of traffic controls, Harley controls, 5 forms. What beautiful. So, what I feel for this spiritual drill which Baba has just given us, now we need an effort. We definitely need also a discipline and a self awareness. And so well, Baba has classified you are in sound now, but you were not in sound, your eternal form when were you in Paramdham, silence. That knowledge he has also given for us to reopen our soul, press on the switch of, okay, let me go to Paramdham, and then put the switch back, let me come back to sound. It's not easy, of course, it's not just a question of a switch, just going beyond sound. We have to also enjoy that sound, that silence. That's why Baba calls it as sweet silence with the Lord in Paramdham. I think it's one of a beautiful drill which we need to really exercise every minute. Om Shanti.
Indeed. Good analogy to explain your perspective, Kichavan.
Shanti.
Yes, brother.
So this actually proves that how much importance the traffic control that we practice on the day, right? So that has, I suppose, that has a very vital role. We stabilizing, a living all that we are in the midst of. So because Baba says peace in the midst of noise. So that practice has to be there because that's the paper that's going to come towards the end. So stabilizing me in the midst of a noise or in the midst of chaotic situation that requires a practice. So right, so only that practice will help me to get there, right? So that I will be able to stabilize or experience that sweet silent stage. So it's a message, I feel it's a warning message also that if time is given to us and how much we are taking it seriously and doing the practice, and why the 8 numbers is very less, because very less pass. And also the silence practice is the foundation for us becoming karmadit. That is also an important point that I just got from this Murli. Because the more we crave inside, to go and sit or observe that silence, right? That crave should be there inside. Otherwise, we will be just doing the traffic control just for the sake of it, right? So we forgot where we originally belong, right? So the current form is actually dominating a lot. Yeah, thank you, Om Shanti.
Yes, brother.
I have a question, Ramesh Bhai. Can I ask that?
Yeah.
So, in the beginning of the Murli, Baba speaks about this is because, so he speaks about um, stabilizing in silence, and then he speaks about three things. He says, this is because your eternal form is sweet silence, whereas your original form is coming into sound. However, your original and eternal sanskar is silence. Can you throw some light in these 3 points? Okay, eternal sanskar is been in Paramdham and in the soul conscious space. But how do we connect the second and the third point together here?
So let's look at where does the question of silence come? Like how in today's time, if we talk about purity, where the question of purity comes when there is another world of impurity. That is where purity would come. Otherwise, there is no need to mention about purity. The need to mention about soul consciousness comes when there is a comparative that is available in the form of body consciousness. So, eternal sanskar is of silence, and eternal is self explanatory. It's been eternal, it's always been there. And as you keep changing your costumes, you also get to recognize that you come into sound. When you come into sound is when there would be depletion of your celestial values. When you come from 16, you come down to 14. The more the noise, the lesser the number. But then recognizing the original and in turn eternal sanskar of that to be silence. You looked at your eternal sanskar and your form and your nature is actually that of silence. But that silence is as a comparative as compared to the noise that we are around. And over 84 births, the noise, the sound has only increased because the body consciousness, the attachments, Maya, everything has gone higher because the colors have gone down. So that is why getting back to where your eternal form is, where your eternal nature is, inside of that, this practice. So that is why Bap Dada is asking that will you take time or will you just put a bindu and go there? Like how we say, behind any attachment or how we get hurt or impacted by what happens around. It happens by analyzing it too deeply, getting personalizing the hurt or thinking about it again and again, or to the extent that you would think. That much of time you will take to heal yourself. Now, the need to heal will come when there is a hurt. But when you put a full stop, देखते हुए भी ना देखना, सुनते हुए भी ना सुनना. You're seeing, but you're not seeing. But you're hearing, but you're not hearing. So you put a dot, and I can see there is a fine line here of moving from attachment to no attachment versus being indifferent. So that transitioning from the world of sound to going to your eternal state of eternal sanskar, eternal form, and eternal nature. It just takes a bindu, a dot, a shiv to get there. But the pain that we inflict on ourselves to put that dot is what would actually take time. If that answers in some form of what you were looking for.
It does. It does. And the analogy that you put across on attachment, no attachment, and indifference, I think these 3 points connects to eternal, original, and eternal sanskar that Baba is speaking about. Yeah, that's what's quite powerful to get into what Baba is telling here. Thank you for that.
Vimesh Bhai, can I just add one sentence?
Please, please.
I just take it like this. First, everything was silent. No one spoke. Then one speaks. Then some spoke. All listened. Then some spoke, some listened, others didn't listen. And then slowly many spoke, many listened, and many also argued. And then came a tornado where everyone spoke, but no one listened, and there was chaos. No one was listening. No one knew what was happening. Then comes a voice and says, it's time to go. It's time to go back to your no talk, no one talk. So that's what is Baba is saying eternal form. I just take it as a cycle. And then when we go back, it's needed now. Why it's needed now? Because of too many people are talking, too many people are listening or not listening. So it is such a chaos. It's like, it's like a stampede. So I think that stampede is what the cycle. That's how I take from what you explained. But Vimesh Bhai, I have a small, not a question. Now, Raki Ben spoke about this attachment and form. I just want to ask you in the final moment. See, you have seen these fire drills which are conducted in the institutions and all, how those people come and say, this is what you must do, this is what you must do. And I remember in our school, everyone used to be said, see, you must come from this side, you must come from this side, you must come from this side. I remember in one of the drills, one student had asked, what if fire comes down that steps where I'm coming? Then how do I go about it? See, that question, even struck me now. What stage Baba has given, very clearly has given, sweet silence is equal to conqueror of attachment and having a powerful form for the final. As you rightly said, देखते हुए मत देखो, सुनो मत सुनो, and then your form comes. But what stage, all these drills, what stage do I take at that moment? Seed stage, Jwala Swarup stage, bodiless stage? What should be that final drill? Can you just say it, especially from that second paragraph? The fire can come anywhere.
I'm just recollecting when you told about the fire drill and the fire coming from down. I was remembering one of the discourses. Uh, one of the brothers from the US was sharing his. He was up. He was there in the Twin Towers when the plane had crashed and it had come down. Rakiban, what was his name? Rambai?
Yes, Rambai.
Rambai, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Ram
And he had
Prakash.
Ram Prakash Bhai, yes. And he had shared about how the fire was coming from the opposite side. And yet, not only he could manage through, but he helped many to manage through as well. And so did some of the other souls who helped a lot of other people come out. The spiritual faith, trust, and purpose is what allowed that body to be taken care from getting hurt or burnt. Now, whatever that might be, like you mentioned, whether it was Jwala Swarup or whatever is there, at that point of time, it was only that moving from the body consciousness to actually surrendering yourself and just going through it. It's not you. It's like how we offer ourselves to Baba and said, you just take over and I'm the instrument. Whatever happens is Kalyankari. So, what would be a particular way to go about it? I wouldn't be knowing that. But yes, what comes to me is that relating yourself as an instrument and putting a full stop on everything and surrendering. And whatever shows up at that point of time, just go with that. Another point that you mentioned while you were talking, Kirjaben, was about the chaos that is outside. Where you came from a state that earlier there was no one talking. There was the way of communication was also through silence, to coming to it spiraling down, coming down to a level where everyone is talking and no one is listening, and it creating a chaos. And then our minds creating a chaos about that chaos. Then that chaos from external has become internal, because then we are applying our minds on how it should be or how it should be not, and to kind of do some dissection on what, how it should happen, not happen, why it is happening, the chaos that we undergo. This is what I could reflect as you were sharing, that yes, how many things do we only keep on thinking, and we can really get wild with our imaginations. and how much that digresses us, it just takes us away from our eternal form and the original form of silence. So that was a good question, or a couple of questions that you asked, which actually got me also get deep into seeking for what perspective I would come out with. Yes, Gijavan, if that kind of answers your concern question.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
How many times we ourselves experience or think about or even talk it, that getting into silence is difficult. Not just getting over there is, it takes time. It's not like happening in a second. But why is it not happening in a second? What is actually coming in the way? Like to put a full stop, it actually just takes a second. But what actually comes in the way? What comes in the way may be all the explanations or the justifications we would give. And the difficulty or the resistance that we have to let go of our righteousness or our experience or view about it. And something has happened with that we may have gone through. And just leaving it in the second, a question may arise, ऐसे कैसे एक ही second में कैसे छोड़ दे? How can we just leave everything in just 1 second? It speaks about how much we are committed to suffer, but not committed to be peaceful. Like how Vijit Bhai also spoke about what he picked up from the Murli, that yeah, being peaceful in a peaceful environment is, yeah, it's swimming with the current. We go to Madhuban, we sit in the meditation room, and then we experience silence. Say, oh, this was so good. But actually living in chaos, how the physical sounds and the emotional sounds as well, is the challenge. And that's where we can practice and elevate ourselves and get to our eternal state. This is what I am getting out of this Murli today.
So you can say swimming with the sharks.
Yeah.
We have to learn to swim with the sharks.
So, yeah. Yeah. And sharks have also become dangerous because of the shift in time. Otherwise, there was a time when Baba used to say in the Murlis, not that a lion and deer used to have water together from the same river. How much to reflect and look at the kind of clutter, the chaos, what you said, Girjavan, not the chaos outside, actually, the chaos inside us, how much of chaos we have cluttered inside us and filled ourselves with so much of filth, if I may say, not for anything else.
So can you
And
not
like you,
say,
sorry, yeah,
no, can you not say even I love this sound, I'm part of the sound, and so much so, I don't know what is silence. So that is why, if suppose you asked, you said something about, I don't remember that sentence, not peace. So I think for a moment, the dot, yeah, the dot. So it's such a easy thing. If I just say enough of sound and close my eyes and go inside, even I see even my every organ of my body making noise. Even the
mm,
physical organs inside are making all funny noises. So see,
yeah,
I should have loved that silence. So first making physical organs silent. I think that's what is needed. I
yeah.
am enjoying the noise.
This is what I can see now. A few minutes back, your voice was sounding a bit croaky and different, but suddenly you started loving it. So now your voice is opened up.
Perfect. You're right.
Yes. Yeah. Some kind of significance we hold on. That is where our voice also gives up. But the moment you let it go, see how your voice just, you're speaking as if nothing. A few minutes back, I felt you got a sore throat. I can think about this uh, incident or analogy where I would look at that some people who live by the railway tracks, if they are put to go to some other place, they cannot sleep because they are used to the noise of the railway tracks, the train going over the tracks. And that is music for them. So, like how you said that you make peace with silence, you just you be one with that noise, sorry, peace with the noise. And making peace with the noise is also silence, no?
Yeah, that's really very indeed empowering, you know. So some people have this habit of sleeping in the noise of the fan. Even if there is too much of cold, they still want the fan to be on.
Yeah,
Just a
it's the
just a
yeah.
bad joke, Vimesh bhai. It's just in humor. I heard a lady saying, if when she's sleeping, she loves the snoring of her husband. If it stops, she doesn't get sleep. It's just a joke. When she said the fan, I remembered that joke. The snoring of the husband puts is a lullaby for her. She said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they find peace in the noise around them. That is actually a high stage. Right. Let's take a couple of minutes to get back to our eternal form, our eternal sanskar, our eternal stage of silence. Wonderful song that Vijit had put in the start. आवाज की दुनिया से दूर कहीं दूर चले. So let's, in these two moments, transit and get into that stage, which is actually ours. Baba is giving us time. Baba is doing us, being with us through this mock drill, through this spiritual drill to take us to that place which is our actual belonging. Let's take this time to see that we are here in this world of noise, complete our karmic cycle, our karmic account, which is a pathway to get onto a karmatit stage. We have forgotten who we eternally are, originally are, and unconsciously we have taken our this form of this birth to be our real form. Today, Bap Dada reminds that you are just playing your role. So complete what you have come for. But remember that eternally you are my child. Baba has also reminded us which is our eternal home. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Om Shanti. See you tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.